Access granted. Transferring data. Activated.
Well, good morning. Welcome to Peter versus the Machine on Gen Con TV. If you were here last week, thank you for coming back. Last week, the machine cheated. Machine went berserk and attacked my power supply. And I don't know why, because the machine's doing well. I don't think I'm gonna win this game, but the machine's not taking any chances. It started to play dirty, so that's it. That's what it's like here. I could tell we're off to that sort of start on this channel. Okay, so yeah, I am Peter Adkison. This is Peter versus Machine right here on Gen Con TV every morning, Monday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific time. I'm playing strategy games, mostly either board games that have been adapted to Steam or some other video gaming format where I can play against AIs, or Sim Civilization, which is one of the best strategy games in the whole world, but it's not a board game. So that's kind of what we're gonna do. My goal with this show is to teach games. I'm not claiming to be the best at any of these games. There are much better players out there. I can promise you that. Where you can learn really advanced strategies and how to do things really well. But my strategy with this show is to go a bit slower and teach you a game, teach you what I know about this game. And if you're a beginner, this is great. If you're already an advanced player, you might enjoy giving me some advice and helping me learn and up my game. So that's the plan. Okay, so today is part 2 of a 2-part series on Through the Ages. So if you didn't see part 1, you're going to be a little bit lost, perhaps, unless you go back and watch part 1 first and then come back and watch part 2, which is what this is going to be. So we're kind of jumping right in the middle of this. Through the Ages is a Civ building strategy game by Vladia Huato of Czech Games Edition. This game is amazing. If you like Civ building games where they're really crunchy, but without too much of the exploration aspect, just the sort of the sim-like aspect of building your civilization, but competing with other civilizations or players doing the same thing, and then maybe going to war once in a while. This is a game. This is really challenging game. I'm playing 3 AIs in this game, so it's a 4-player game, if you will. Vladia, by the way, if you haven't heard of him, I think is an excellent designer. He's the same designer that did Codenames and Galaxy Trucker, and a bunch of other stuff, I'm sure. So again, this is a game in progress, and we are gonna dive into it now, and I'll show you what we're doing. All right. So this is the game screen here. Let's see. I'm looking to see if you see my mouse tracking. Not very well. Oh well. Okay. I'll try and tell you where I'm at. This game is, I mentioned earlier that it's 4 players. So up here on the right, down, you have blue, green, red, and Haas. That's me. I'm Haas. I'm playing AIs. It doesn't let me name the AIs more creatively, unfortunately. So I'm just, it's like playing different colors. But you notice that there's pictures here. As your civilization, as you're developing your civilization, you'll be able to pick a leader for your civilization. But the leader doesn't live forever. It just lives for a part, And because in this game, you start in the ancient age and go to the classical. You go up through what they call the ages 1, 2, and 3. But you can think of it as kind of going through Classic Age, Middle Ages, Renaissance, and up through modern times. So you pick a leader, and that leader will only survive until the end of the next age. But by then, you might want to pick a leader appropriate for that age. So you can get pretty much 1 to 2 ages out of a certain leader. So these will change. So right now, blue doesn't have a leader. Green is using, I think it's Captain Cook, James Cook. Red is using William Shakespeare, and I'm using Napoleon. And that pretty much tells you what the nature of my strategy is in this game. Yes, it's true. I'm a really nice guy in day-to-day life, and then I play a game like this, and I just become this warmonger, or I just want to kill everybody. But it's just a game, so it's a safe space for doing that. Yeah. Okay. So in this game, like I said before, you're progressing through the ages. The whole game takes usually about 17, 18 turns. The first turn is the ancient era. The last turn is the fourth age. The other 15, 16 turns are over the 3 ages. So those will be several turns apiece. And there's a great tool in the very upper left, that little drop down arrow will let you see everything that's happened in the game so far, beginning, so here's the beginning of age 3. It just started. When we started age 3, the AIs went green and red and blue looks like green didn't do much, blue didn't do much. No, blue hasn't gone yet. Okay, and then so it's very it looks like a mess trying to read it if you don't know what you're looking for, but it becomes very helpful way to seeing what has happened in the past. Okay, so let's do a kind of a review of what we have here. This bar here that's in the middle, but towards the top, is your fundamental resources that you have in the game in terms of food and rocks and science and culture. And so you can glance up there at any point and see how you're doing. The big number is how much you have in inventory. So right now I have 6 food in inventory, and I'm producing 2 per turn. Technically, I'm producing a bit more than that, but I'm also consuming some of that. So the +2 is the net production of food that I have, of how much I'm producing minus how much I'm using to feed my people. And then rocks, I have 8 rocks in inventory, and I'm producing 6. I have 15 science, producing 4, 37 culture, producing 3, and and now over here on the right below my name Haas, there's a little pop out where you can see at a glance how you compare to everybody else. So those same statistics here, but you can see red has you can see how red is doing compared to me. I won't go through each one of these, but you get the idea. Blue is the AI to beat in this game for me. I want to tell you, the AIs in this game are amazing. If your pet peeve is playing games where the AIs suck, well, first of all, congratulations on being that good of a player. You won't have that problem with this game. The AIs in this game are badass. So I'm actually playing on kind of an easy mode, except for blue is kind of in a medium mode, and so blue is the AI to watch carefully. And you can kind of, let's see, how are they doing? They got better food. Their rock production is about average. Their science production is definitely tied for first with green, and their culture is not dominant. Red is actually doing really well. Well, red's using William Shakespeare and has been doing a lot with culture, with wonders, and so on and so forth. Anyway, there are 2 decks of cards in this game. There's a civil deck and a military deck. The civil deck is this yellow deck here, and when this deck runs out, that's the end of that age. So you can see the 3 on the card, and the 50. So there's 50 cards left in this deck, but when that runs out, the game will almost be over. The game will do one final turn that's technically the 4th age, and it's just 1 turn, and it'll be over. Up here, this is the card row. These cards along the top, like Marisa Teresa, Organized Religion, etc. These were cards that were drawn from this civil deck. And at the end of each turn, each player's turn, any of these cards that were taken, the cards slide down from right to left to fill those spots. And if there's a card in this first spot, it goes away. So that's how the event tech gets cold through, if you will, right? But all of us during our turns as players and AIs can take cards from this card row and bring them down into our hand, which is in the bottom left here. Okay, that's the civil deck. The military deck is this deck here. It's a separate deck of cards that have separate use in the game. My current hand of military cards is this hand down here. Each player will draw up to 3 of these at the end of each turn from the and how many you get to draw is however many of your military actions, which are the red tokens that you see in the bottom right corner. These red tokens, each of them that you don't use during your turn, lets you draw one of these military cards up to 3 maximum. So your goal during a turn is to not dip below 3, not to use all your military actions unless it's really something you really want, because you want to be able to have at least 3 military actions left over to get your 3 cards. Okay, I'm got a little list here, check to make sure I've talked about everything, advancing through the areas. The tokens. So over here are in the left, just above my hand of cards, are yellow token bank and blue token bank. These are tokens that kind of represent potential of my empire. These are tokens that are kind of almost like not in play, really. The yellow tokens are population. The blue tokens are kind of an aggregation of resources. They can represent food. They can represent rocks. It's kind of unspecified where they're at. But let me explain what's in the middle of this board here next, because that'll help me explain the yellow tokens and the blue tokens better. Okay, what's in the middle of the board, left to the right? Over on the left, you're probably thinking, those look like troops. Yeah, that's right, these look like troops. I'm going to click on the cannons there. It pops up, and in the middle here is this cannon technology. Just to the right of it is the knights technology, and just to the right of that is the warriors technology. Okay, these cards represent technology that I understand, that my civilization understands. It understands how to make warriors, knights, and cannon. Doesn't understand how to make airplanes or anything else. Okay, so what the yellow tokens on the card represent is how many of those things, how many people, how much population I have, how many units I have of those different things. So I have 2 yellow tokens on the cannon card. So I have effectively, you might think of it as I have 2 cannons. Well, not just like 2 actual literal cannons, but like 2 cannon units of cannons, right? And I have 4 units of knights and no warriors. These warriors are ancient era warriors. You can tell by the A at the top. So I'll always have that warrior technology, but it's not very often I'm going to build guys with spears, because we're going into the modern age right now. Okay, so that's what those guys do, and you can see at a glance by the number of flags over here how many of those units I have. Oh, I'm going to pop up that display one more time, because on the left side you see where it says common tactics. There are tactics in the game that you can play, and the smaller ones here that are on the left that are visible, those are ones that are available. The larger one here that says mobile artillery, that represents that it is a tactic that I'm currently using. And what this does is it adds strength to your units in different combinations. So what this does is it adds 5 to my strength. The shield in this game represents strength. If I have a horse type unit and a cannon type unit, i.e. knights and cannons, right? So for every pair of a knight and a cannon that I have, it adds 5 points. So if you've been following along, you can look at it and say, Peter, why don't you take one of those knights and turn it into a cannon? Yeah, that's a great idea, and I'm going to try and do that. Because then I have, well, not only are the cannons worth more points of themselves. I didn't point that out, but if you look at the cannon number here, you see the 3 at the bottom of the card in the shield. That means each cannon unit is worth 3 strength. So you can tell I'm getting 6 strength from that. Each knight unit is worth 2 strength. So 2 times 4 is 8, and 6 is 14. Gosh, I'm hoping I'm doing my math right. That's 14 of my strength. But hey, I have a strength over here of 30. That's what the lower of the 2 numbers by my leader. And yeah, sure enough, 14 from the 6 military units, plus 10 from 2 armies using the mobile artillery tactic, which we just talked about. Plus, I got Napoleon. Let's click on Napoleon, see what he does. Napoleon, I have plus 2 strength for each different type of military unit I have. So, Napoleon was famous for inventing the combined arms effectiveness of infantry, cavalry, and artillery, what's called the classic army. So, so his strength kind of gets better as the closer you get to that model. So I have 2 types of units. If I get a third one, I'll have another plus 2 strength. But I gain plus 4 just from having 2. Okay, let's see, how did I do? Did we capture? Oh, plus I have the Colossus Wonder. Oh, that's good. That's a good segue to up here in the kind of in the middle top of your landscape here. If I click on there, I see my wonders. I have built 2 wonders. I have built, both of them are excellent. I highly recommend both of these wonders. The Colossus is an Age A wonder that adds 2 strength. There we go. That's the other 2 strength I have. It also adds 1 navigation, which we may get into, and it costs 6 rocks to build in 2 different actions of 3 each. I also have St. Pete's Basilica, which Colossus was great in its day, still helpful, 2 strength, never say no to that. But St. Pete's is an excellent wonder all the way through the game from the day you buy it. Every other worker or card that I have that has a happy face, the St. Pete's gives me an extra happy face. We haven't talked about happiness yet, but happiness is sort of a curb on rampant craziness. Like, you got to keep your people happy. You need to get them, keep them satisfied with things, amenities, or religion, or something like that. Well, St. Pete's Basilica helps with that. It also produces 2 culture a turn, which I think all of the culture I have, it probably came from St. Pete's, just about. Okay, the goal in this game is, at the end of the game, whoever has the most culture wins. Oh, well, now let's go back and look at this thing, see how I'm stacking up against the other cultures, and the other civs in terms of culture. I only have 37 points of culture, and I'm generating 3 per turn. Red is running away with it. While I've been trying to knock down blue every chance, red has been silently just sneaking up and taking over this game. Red has 88 culture and is generating 11 per turn. Green is not doing so well. I have almost as much culture as green, and I haven't really been trying to do much with culture, even though it's how you win. Blue is strong in both. So, okay, so you're like, well, Peter, why the heck if culture is the goal, having the most culture at the end of the game, how come you're not doing more with culture? Well, while the game is in play in this game, the culture's not really doing much for you. It's only matters at the end. And so what I have done is focused on military, and you can see my strength of 30 versus the other AIs, with the idea that I could be pounding on the other AIs and collecting resources through wars and aggressions. Well, I haven't been drawing those cards, so my warmongering strategy so far has not been paying off. And now that we're going into the 3rd age, I am going to try and pivot. Whether it was working or not, I would always do this, try to focus a bit more on culture, significantly more on culture in the 3rd age, while maintaining my military advantage and trying to have a good, strong finish. You can use military to take culture from other civs. So it's not like there's no chance of winning here. There is a chance of winning here, but it's going to come down to whether I can do decently well at building my infrastructure, because my infrastructure isn't that great, finding my own sources of culture while maintaining a military advantage and getting the cards to pound on those opponents when I get a chance. So that's kind of the strategy. I haven't covered everything. I'll try and fill in the blanks as we go, but I think we should get started, don't you? Let me just look at my checklist, see if there's anything else. Okay, I think that's mostly what I wanted to cover. Okay, let's finish one thing. I started to go through the list of things, like the military units were on the left. I didn't explain any of this other stuff that's in the middle. These are farms, and you see the lights there on the farm. You see the little lights. Those represent population that I've assigned to farming. And so if I click on the farms, actually it's going to show all my technologies. It's showing that I have in this the leftmost column of irrigation and agriculture. These are farming technologies in the ancient era. The lower one, agriculture, and then it's upgraded to irrigation. And you can see again the 2 yellow dots that I've assigned to irrigation, representing that I have 2 population focused on farming, and they're each generating 2 food per turn. So remember when I said that my food production is +2 is really the plus how much I was producing minus how much I was using. That's called consumption. So here when I do this little pop down, it shows that I have +4 food from those 2 age 1 farms, irrigations, but -2 on consumption. That is, the population is eating food, of course. So if you're at 0 here, that means you have exactly the right amount of food production to sustain the population you have. But if you want to grow your population, and you do, because that's how, you need population to do all the work, as we all know as workers, right? So you need to have a positive number here. And the consumption that's offsetting your production is this number that's showing here. So as you use food, like for a cost of 4 food, and I have 6 inventory, so I can do this. For a cost of 4 food, I can drag one of these yellow tokens from the bank over to what's called the idle workers area. That just means that these population has produced, but they're not productively employed. And then from there, I can deploy them to various technologies, to military, farming, mining, so the other ones that are here. Talked about farming. The second row is mining. The old mines were bronze mines from the ancient era. Currently working iron mines, and I have 3 population assigned to that. Over here is science in the next column. Started off as philosophy, but now it's into alchemy. It's all sounding pretty medieval still. That's right. We're going into the more modern age, Renaissance, modern, something like that. In the real world, there's more ages than there are here, so these are broad ages. So now I have 2 population assigned to alchemy, which means that I'm generating, each of them generates 2 science, so I'm generating 4 science per turn. Yeah, that's consistent with this number up here, 15 plus 4. Finally, I have religion as I have 1 population assigned to religion. Why? Is because religion, well, it does give you culture. It also gives you a happy face. And so my happiness situation, I'm getting 1 happiness from the religion, but remember St. Pete's is giving me an extra 1, plus it generates 1 all by itself. I mean, St. Pete's is like a really happy place. I've never been there, but I kind of want to go there now and see how happy it is. So that's how I have the 3 happiness spaces. If you don't keep up with your happiness, bad things happen. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll explain that as we go. Okay. So strategy, I talked about. I think I talked about most of the things I want to do going into age 3. There are a couple of things I want to point out though. In the military deck, it's called the military deck, but it's also has a lot of event cards, and there are a whole bunch, all these green cards that say impact of competition, impact of agriculture, impact of industry, all this sort of stuff like that. Most of them a lot of these will come up between now and the end of the game, or when the game is over, any of them that are in the event deck that have been put into the future events, it's called the future events deck, which is when you play one of these cards, it doesn't happen right away. It goes into what's called a future event deck, and then later it shows up. You'll see how that works in a bit. So a bunch of those get resolved at the very end of the game, and a lot of them involve converting something, like how well you've done in terms of military or science or culture, into culture. So you do get credit for a lot of things at the end, and a lot of things get converted in culture at the end. So even if you're running low on culture, you can turn it around and end at the end of the game. So I'm not going to go through all these, but I would say if you are playing this game, when you get to the third age and you get to the part where you're like, okay, how do I get better and better at this? Look at all these cards and you'll get an idea for all the different things that can give you points at the end of the game. And there's things like, okay, this one's impact. It's fated. That means it already is. It's definitely going to happen. This is scores 2 per level of your government and blue technologies. Okay, well, so that's giving you a motivation to improve your government. Impact of wonders. This is going to give you culture at the end of the game for the wonders that you've built along the way, and the older the wonder, the better. So I'm in good shape on this one in the sense that I have an age A wonder with the Colossus. That's going to be worth 5 culture at the end of the game, and I have St. Pete's, which is an age 1 wonder, I think. That's going to give me 4 at the end of the game, etc. Okay. I'm sure you're probably saying, let's just get started. Let's just go. Let's go. Okay. We're gonna do it. When this turn starts, this, by the way, we are picking up where we left off at the end of the first episode. So it starts with your turn structure starts with a political action, and your political action is playing one of these cards that are down here. I will generally play aggressions or wars as often as possible because I am the military leader in the game. So I definitely need resources. Okay, so I don't have any war cards, but I have 2 aggressions. This one is called Plunder. If I win the aggression, I get a combination of 7 rocks or food from my rival, from whoever I attacked with it. Spy will give me science from whoever I attack with it. That's a tough choice. I think about what I want to build this turn. I'm going to want to upgrade my government to a constitutional monarchy. That's going to take 12 science. I have 15. Well, the breakthrough, when I play it, is going to give me 3 back. So I do have enough science this turn to play a couple of different technologies. I also wouldn't mind getting a rifleman out there, because that's the classic army. Okay. But spies, what a spy will do is take science. I think I'm going to play the plunder. I think I need more food and rocks to do the development work that I want. So let's play that. So when I play an aggression, what it is, so aggressions and wars are the 2 ways to attack. Aggressions are immediate and less and more, they're both volatile in different ways, but it's something that happens right away. So if I play the plunder against one of these AIs, I think I'm going to start. I've been picking on blue because blue's a stronger AI, but red is running away from this game, so I think I'm going to pick on red. They've got a lot of cards to defend with, but I have a strength advantage of 21. So when you do an aggression, your strength is compared to the strength of the civ that you're attacking, and you win if your strength is higher than theirs. But so it looks like, I should win 30 versus 9. But there are cards, let me cancel that and show you some of them. There are cards that can be used defensively. If he's got any of these cards in this hand, and somebody asked about pronouns, by the way, the other day. I try to refer to the civs with the pronoun of their current leader, so that's where that came from. This, if he's got one of these cards, they add 6 to his defense. And there's less powerful these from previous ages. Also, any 2 cards, you can discard any 2 cards or up to 2 cards for strength of 1. Actually, I don't remember the rule. I think you can discard any card for a strength of 1. And there might be a limit to how many of those you can do. All right, so he's got to make up 11. And we'll see what happens. He's got a lot of cards, so he might be able to do it. So I'm going to confirm that I'm attacking him with 11. Nope, he didn't have enough cards, or he chose not to use them. So now I get to take some resources from him. Okay, so question is, do I want... well, let's look at what I'm going to need. I have 6 food. I want to build 4 food. Will let me get one more guy, one more population out of the bank. If I get 4, if I had 8 food, or maybe 9, the price goes up as these things disappear. But I think the next one's going to cost 4 too. So if I have 8 food, I could build 2 population, and that is I have 6 now, so it's going to take 2 more. So I'm going to take 2 food if I can, and the rest in resources. Okay, rocks. Okay, there it goes. Okay, so now what just happened? By the way, now we're looking at blue. So all these AIs, you can tell which civilization you're looking at by the color of the background. What you've been seeing so far has all been yellow. That's me. Now we're looking at blue. Duh. Okay. What's happening right now is, if you watched in the last episode, you might remember how giddy I was at the very end because one of my events that I played came out called Terrorism. Again, do not advocate terrorism in real life, but in a game, it can be great. If you're the character with the least amount of culture, you get to destroy 1 building in every other civ. So it's letting me go through and pick this. So from blue, I'm going to destroy their best science building. And then green, I'm going to destroy... I think I'll destroy their best science building. And red... I think I'm going to destroy their best theater. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now it went through all those events. I did my military action, which is an aggression. So now I'm done with the political phase of the game of this turn. Now I'm in the main part of my turn. So this part of my turn, I have all these the white tokens in the bottom right are this. I have 6 civil action that I can do, or 6 points of civil actions, if you will. Drawing cards from the card row along the top costs a number of civil actions depending on how many dots are below it. So the first 5, you see there's a white dot at the bottom of the card. It takes 1 civil action to grab one of those cards. The ones to the right become more expensive. So the nice thing here is you can kind of, when you're playing as the AI, with the AI playing on Steam like this, you can kind of try different things and see how they work and back up until you change the game state in a way that where you didn't know what you're going to reveal. You can keep playing around and back up all the way to the beginning of your turn and change your mind. So I'm just going to start doing stuff. One thing I want to do, I got 15 science. I want to upgrade my government to a constitutional monarchy. Right now I have a monarchy. The monarchy gives me 5 civil actions per turn and 3 military actions per turn. The constitutional monarchy increases both of those numbers by 1. So that sounds good. And when you change your government, you can either do it peacefully or you can do it through a revolution. If you do it through a revolution, though, it takes all of your actions. Like, you can't do anything else that turn. So I rarely do that. Maybe it's a good way to do things because you get to save science, but you're not doing anything with any of your other stuff. So I'm going to develop the government peacefully, and I have a yellow card here called Breakthrough, which is these yellow cards, by the way, that you can get off of the card row up on the top. You see a couple of yellow cards. These yellow cards, don't underestimate them. They can be really, really helpful. They're a one-time use thing. Like, oh, here's a little boost, here's a little boost, here's a little boost. This one, if you develop a technology after you pay the science cost, you get 3 science back. Oh, okay, that's what it does. Okay, so I am going to develop my constitutional monopoly. I'm going to do it peacefully, and I'm going to do it using breakthrough. So I click on that first option. So now I have a constitutional monarchy. And in terms of actions, it paid for itself. It gives you the extra action right away. So now it's showing a larger number of civil and military actions down here in the bottom right, but with one of the civil actions used already. Okay, the red action I used was the aggression you saw earlier. So I've got that. I really want to get journalism going. Journalism is one of my favorite technologies in the game. Let me show you what it does. Is it gives you 2 culture and 2 science. So if I'm behind on culture and behind on science, I can, by focusing on journalism, which can upgrade into mass media or something like that, then I'm doing a moderate investment in both culture and science with every population I assign there. So I like this technology a lot. I'm going to put it out here. I'm going to, down in the bottom left, I'm going to increase my population by spending 4 food. Now you can see I've got a population token in my idle workers box. So now I want to assign that to journalism. Oh, I had another yellow card here called Urban Growth. It gives me a discount on building urban buildings. Not farms and mines, but any of those gray technologies. So yeah, I'll use it. That's why I got it. Okay, so now I have a journalism. Now my science just went up by 2, and my culture production just went up by 2. Science production, yeah. Okay, I've burned through all my science. I calculated that nicely. I ended up with 0 left. I've still got some food. I've got enough food for another population. Build the population. Uh-oh. What's going on? See the idle workers. It's orange instead of yellow. Okay, I mentioned happiness. We see down here in the bottom left, I revealed by bringing that last yellow token into idle workers, I sort of uncovered, if you will, an unhappiness face. And so right now my civilization needs 4 happiness faces, and it only has 3. So one of the faces is a little bit like that. That's not good. It's not as bad as if they're rioting, which can happen if you get more than 1. So, like, okay, so what do I do about that? Well, what I would really like to do is to have a better place to stick this guy than here, but I don't. Not right now. So I am going to take this idle worker and I am going to assign him to religion. And so now when I open up religion, I've got 2 population assigned there instead of 1. And so it's generating 2 happiness and 2 culture. Actually, I think it might be generating 3 happiness. Let's see. Oh yeah, I've got 5 happiness now instead of 3. It went up by 2. Well, again, St. Peter's Basilica. It's a happy, happy place. It's like Disneyland. It's the ancient version of Disneyland. Disneyland isn't a wonder. It should be, though. Don't you think? I think the game where happiness is so important, I think Disneyland should definitely be a wonder. And it should be, but it's of course not going to, it's got to be better than St. Pete's. Anyway, my happiness problem is solved. It's really great. Okay, so that is most of my turn. I got 1 civil action left. The question is, do I want one of these cards? I could take one of these cards up here. I could also, by the way, do a I've got several military actions. The only military action I can really do is, I actually have a great military action I can do. Remember at the beginning of this, I said, hey, Peter, why don't you take one of those knights and move it to a cannon? Yes, we can do that. So I'm going to go over here and click on Knights, and it's going to give me a couple options. So in addition to building units, you can also disband units. So I'm going to disband the Knight, and then I'm going to build now when I did that, it took the population that unit of Knight got disbanded. The people that were doing the knighting became idle. So now I can take also with the military action and slide that up there to cannons. And sure enough, now my strength is 36 instead of 30, because that tactic was worth 5. So that's, and I have another one of those tactics being used, and then cannons are 1 strength point higher than knights. So good move in a couple directions. One thing I don't like about that is that now I have only 2 military actions left, and this is how many cards I draw. So I'm definitely compromising how many cards I'm going to be drawing from the military deck by doing this, which is not good. And I'm really wondering, because I really need, for my strategy to work, I really need wars and aggressions to come up, and I get them through those military action draws. So I'm only going to do part of that move. I'm going to leave that disbanded, and then next turn I can move it out to become a cannon, what I just did. All right, so now I have 1 action left, civil action left. I'm going to go ahead and take, I mentioned these yellow cards, don't underestimate them. Let's see, for each civilization stronger than yours, you have an extra 2. Oh, well, nobody's stronger than me. That card's worthless for me. Hopefully, worthless for the whole game. I guess I don't really have any. Oh, this is, well, my food production is really kind of sucky, and I'm not generating as much food as I would like. I could use my civil action to build something, but then I'm not going to have the idle worker to go and build the knights, and then my food production isn't high enough to build to get enough food to hard build that yellow token. So the question is, I mean, I could build, clearly my food production isn't that good. I could build another farm. If I did this, then my food production, now I have three production farming farms, and my food production goes up to +3. I'll need 5. That means in 2 turns I could get another I think what I really want is to upgrade the technology. So one of the things in this game, this is a little strategy, and through the ages, these yellow tokens are so precious because you can only do so many things with them, and you can only have so many of them allocated to wherever. So I think that, and so the way to be careful with them is, instead of thinking, oh, I want more farms, more mines, you want better farms and better mines, and there are technologies that will improve these. I think I'm just gonna leave that there, keep my 5 rocks, and always, it feels so. I guess I'll just take organized religion. It's cheap. I could upgrade my happiness. It would be with St. Pete's. It's worth a lot to upgrade your happiness, so maybe I'll do that. All right. In my turn, now when this turn, if you haven't watched this before, when my turn's over, it's going to go really fast through all the other turns, and I'll try and catch you up as we do that. Okay, so I have to discard 2 cards. I can only have as many military cards in my hand at the end of a turn as the number of civic actions I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. No, the number of military tokens in my pool, not necessarily how many I have that I didn't use, but the 5 military token capacity, if you will. That's how many cards I can end my turn with. I have 7 cards. I'm going to this card should be really good for me because it's impact of strength. The higher strength you are, when this card comes out, the more points you get in culture. The verdict's out on that one. I don't think this card's that good, so I'm going to discard it, and politics is Strength is okay, I think. Aggression, definitely keeping that. Scientific cooperation, that could be really good for me. You kind of make a science deal with somebody else, and you both get a discovery. Okay, each civilization scores culture based on its science. Well, since I'm not first in science, that's probably helping somebody else more than it helps me if it comes out. So those are 2 cards I'm going to get rid of, and that ends my turn. Now it's doing the production, and it show. Ooh, I got a war and an aggression. Okay. An event came up. The strongest civilization scores 3 and gains a population. Nice. The weakest loses 3 culture and loses a population. Okay, so that was a nice event for me. And blue is building oil. Oh, yeah, how nice. And is taking Marlene Dietrich as her leader. So blue is now Marlene Dietrich. Okay, there she goes. And she just upgraded a Age 1 mine, 2 of her mines to oil. So now she's going to have sick production capabilities. And she's adopting hussars as her military. So her strength is up to 14 now. And boy, look at all the food and rocks she has. Okay, green is going, James Cook. Economic progress. Each civilization produces immediately. Then you evaluate corruption. I didn't explain corruption and consumption. Well, I think I did consumption, but I will here. And they produce food and rocks and don't anyway, so they produce both of these without offsetting them with corruption and consumption. Okay, now he's taking modern military. Okay, so he's leapfrogging from ancient era warriors to modern guys like with, it looks like they're holding rifles and bazookas, and he just built 2 of them, so his strength just jumped way up. And he's building labs. Yeah, I'm a little worried, gotta say. Some strong text coming out there. Ravages of Time. Okay, so this is an event where every civilization chooses one of their wonders that they completed, and it crumbles. And it loses whatever effects it had, but now produces 2 culture. And so I will have to resolve that on my turn. Fine. He's upgrading an art farm, building more population. He's building another theater, probably the one I destroyed. And more, a library, which is it's in the same tech column as journalism. And built some military. Okay, so all the other armies have gotten a little stronger. Okay, now it's back to my turn. So I have a choice. I have a couple of different aggressions. We have the spy. I also have this aggression, which is a raid, which is more, let's say, destroy 2 of your buildings, rivals urban buildings. One of age 3 or older, one of age 2 or older, and gain half the production costs. Okay. There's also hybrid war. Now the way wars work is they don't resolve immediately. They resolve, if I play this war, it will resolve at the beginning of my turn, my next turn, which means that both sides, both the other civ and myself, will both have the intervening time to improve our military strength, and then they're compared, and then resolved. You and your rival get 2 unhappy faces until the war is evaluated. Okay, that kind of benefits me a little bit because I've got St. Pete's, which is pretty good. So I have a little bit more. I have 1 more happiness I need, so this wouldn't hurt me quite as bad. The victor takes culture equal to the strength advantage from the defeated civilization. Okay, so this is an opportunity to grab some cultures. So the question is, do I want to use this now or do I want to wait? I don't want to wait. I want to go to war right now. So I should look at these and see how good a position am I to improve my military strength this turn versus how good they're going to be able to improve theirs. The good news is the defender can't use in a war these cards that I mentioned here, or any of their military cards that they have in their hand. It's really strength versus strength without any cards, and I've got a really big advantage. I am going to be able to move the sidle worker up to cannons, and might be able to do a little more than that. And so I'm in a pretty good spot. See now, but how good a spot is red? Red has very little production, very little food, does have an idle worker. No, he's got tanks technology, and he has the science to produce it, but he doesn't have the rocks to actually build any tanks that I can see. There's always some little tricky that he might have that I'm not noticing, but I don't see any way he can build tanks. He can build another. If he doesn't even have enough rocks to build another rifleman, which is what this is. Because I think they cost 5. Oh, here we go. Rifleman costs 5 rocks, and they're 3 strength. So with 4 rocks, I think he's kind of hosed. Oh, good. And he's the culture leader. Okay, so my strategy is going to build up. I'm going to do a hybrid war against Shakespeare. Now, hybrid is usually a combination of 2 things. Hopefully, it's just like combination of like knights and cannons, and not like knights versus poets. I think I would lose that one. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna do it. Boom, going to war against Shakespeare. Red, war declared. Okay, now I should have looked at his happiness, by the way. Okay, refugees, increase your population for free. This might actually be kind of bad. No, it'll be good. I can fix this. Okay, so I didn't look at his. He's got a lot. He had plenty of happiness too. He might. I don't know. It might not be showing. He might end up having a big happiness problem too. That might compound. The hybrid war is kind of nasty in the sense that you take a lot of somebody's culture, and after you declare the war, they got this big happiness problem. It makes it harder to build more units. Plus, he doesn't have any production, so I'm feeling a little cocky. Okay, so I'm gonna move. Let's see. Wait, am I done with? Oh, I have to remember crumble. I have to crumble one of my wonders. Well, I am not crumbling St. Pete's because it's giving me a lot of happiness. I really would have a happiness problem. It'd be like saying bye-bye Disneyland. Okay, I am going to crumble the Colossus. I'm going to lose 2 strength. It's a bad time to lose 2 strength, but it's just 2 out of 28, you know. And 1 navigation. I never use the navigation anyway, hardly ever. Okay, so there it goes. And now the ancient ruins produce 2 cultures. So actually, crumble was pretty good for me. Now my culture production is 8. Wow, 8. How's that compare? Wow. I mean, still suck compared to William Shakespeare, but I'm as cultured. Napoleon, I as Napoleon am as cultured as Marlene Dietrich, and James Cook. Well, that's not saying much. All right, cool. Where was I? Okay, now it's time to play civil and military actions. Okay, now, well, first things first, let's go build a cannon. Now my strength is 34. And I need so many more things. I'm tempted to pop out organized religion and upgrade that to that. I upgrade from an ancient sort of you can leapfrog technologies. I highly recommend it. Like in the technology here for religion, the ancient era religion is just called religion. And this is organized religion, which is an age 2 card. You notice I skipped age 1. You can do that, and I don't try to take all your technology rows of farms, mines, religion, science, and whatever. Don't try and upgrade those every single era. You're just not going to be able to do it. So be strategic about which ones. No, you're going to be kind of opportunistic. Okay, I do have a. Wow, so many things I want here. I want those militaries. I want the but you know, my food production is currently my biggest problem. So, talking about leapfrog technologies, I'm going to take mechanized culture. I'm going to spend 3 civil tokens because I really want to make sure that I get that card so that I can leapfrog, so I can really get my food production up where I need it to be before the game ends. I got 2 guys left? Well, right in the center of that card roll is 2 big red cards. I think I really want to get one of those. Which one? Modern Infantry or Air Forces? Well, oh man, they're both so good. You know, let's see. Is anybody else as desperate for food as I am? Certainly not Marlene. Oh my gosh. James Cook only has ancient era farms. That's all. Okay, so what I'm looking is to see if everybody was like really set on food, then I could sort of risk not taking mechanized agriculture, and that it would still be in the card row when it comes back to me. The other thing I'm going to look at is how many mechanized cultures are there in the deck. There are, brain freeze. Where are they? They would be up here. Okay, there's only 2 of them in the deck. If I don't get this one, maybe I'll get the next one. What if it doesn't show up until the end of the era? Nah, I gotta take this now while I can. Okay, so mechanized culture. Thinking ahead, next turn I'll have 8 science. I'll be able to build it because it costs 7. I've got, hey, hold on a second. I've got 8 rocks and enough happiness. I am going to build another journalism and increase my science and culture production by 2 each. I'm doing that instead of taking the military. Yeah, I know. It's going to be hard to stay number 1 in military if I'm not going out and getting those techs. But this is Era 3. This is part of the pivot. Another thing that happens in Era 3, there is trying to get as many of the high-ranking techs as possible and build your infrastructure. There's the pressure on your military to do as good as you can on your military. There's also the Era 3 wonders, of which you see 2 up here. There's Hollywood, score twice. You immediately score when you build it. Culture equal to twice the culture produced by your theaters and libraries. So if I was already doing well, by the way, over here in the middle, you can see a little calculation based on where everybody's at right now. If blue built it, they wouldn't get any culture. Evidently, they don't have anything in theaters or libraries. If green built it, they would get 4. I would get 8. Red would get 22. So this kind of doubles down. If you're already doing well on culture, Hollywood makes you do much better. Fast food change is more my style. Fast food change is actually pretty good no matter who takes it. You get 1 culture for every worker in a military unit or urban building, and 2 for every worker on a farm or mine. Oh, what's that saying about fast food culture? I don't know. Anyway, there's going to be a couple more Era 3 wonders, and it's really nice to build one of those because they're usually worth like 20 or 30 culture, or 20-ish culture. The other thing that you want to try and do in Era 3 is upgrade your government to a Tier 3 government, like democracy or communism or I don't know remember what the other ones are. But anyway, you can't do all these things. You are going to have to pick and choose. How much am I going to be able to get my infrastructure up? Am I going to be able to build a wonder? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I got 1 civil action left. Let's do this. Get this game going. Patriotism. I think I want to take one of these. I mean, I could take movies, but I know I'm not going to be able to build it. Have an extra 4 for building, upgrading military units, and extra military action. That's always nice. Endowment of the arts. For each civilization with more culture points than you have, score 2. That can be pretty nice in a 4-player game when you're last in culture. I don't know that I'm last in culture, though. I'm almost caught up with green. Blue's not that far ahead of me. Red is killing me. But, by the way, that's going to change next turn. It could be by the time I got that out that, I could play it very next turn. It's probably worth 4 culture. Okay, that would be nice. Urban growth lets me build or upgrade something for 4 less. That's pretty nice. I think I am going to take every piece of culture starts to count at this point. I'm going to take endowment of the arts because I'm pretty sure that's going to be worth. Whoops. blue. I think I'm going to pass green culture, so that'll be worth 4 culture. I'll take it. Yeah, what the heck. I don't want movies. I don't want... well, maybe I could, but... maybe I should be taking one of those technologies, but... yeah, I'm going to take that. Alright. Gotta discard a card. No, that one's alright. Impact of progress. Every civilization scores 2 per level of each government special move. I don't think I'm going to do that well in this one. Impact strength I want to keep. Impact of population. If I do well with my mechanized farming, those will come in good. Okay, so it's either I don't think I'm going to get around to playing scientific cooperation. I also have a lot of these green event cards, which I'm not going to be able to play many of them. I'll just get this one, impact of progress. I think that one is probably not going to be that well. Wait, how many do I have to get rid of? 1, 2, 3, 4. I have to get rid of 2. Okay, well, scientific cooperation then. All right. If I play scientific cooperation and something's gone wrong, it means I didn't have an aggression or war to play. Okay, Cold War. 2 strongest civilizations get 6 science. Okay, great. Nice. Marlene, she's playing Wave of Nationalism to get more military strength. She's building up her military bit, but she's got a happiness problem, and she really needs... oh, she's grabbing those military cards. I hope I didn't make a mistake not getting airplanes. Air Force. Okay, well, she is... her strength is 28 now versus my 34. She's going to be hard to punch. Okay, that's okay. I don't need to punch everybody. Just need to punch red. Oh no! Iconoclasm! Oh no! Each civilization with a leader that is not from the current age must remove that leader from play. So, all the leaders except Marlene Dietrich just died. So, green lost James Cook. Yeah, big deal. Red lost William Shakespeare. And I lost Napoleon. Oh my gosh. Well, that's too bad. Okay, I will be looking for a new leader. I will be looking for some new military cards. Modern military might survive to me. Let's see what red does. Okay, so we have a colony. This is how colonies work. You put them in an event deck and they come up eventually. Everybody can choose to try and colonize it. Whoever votes, bids the most in terms of how much military they're willing to sacrifice to send there, gets the colony. Yeah, but right now I'm in the middle of a war. So the war, whoever has the most strength, if I have to send military units, it's gonna sap my strength. I am gonna pass. I'm just not gonna bid on this colony. So, and if red is smart, red won't bid either. I'm predict that blue is going to run away with it. Yep. Yeah. I did. Nobody bid except for Marlene. She got it. And because nobody bid against her, she got it for a very cheap price. So she has to send 1 unit out there to take the colony. So she does. That's why you see her military strength dropped off. Oh, and she took military... no, red took military history. Okay. All right. And computers. Okay, the war's gonna happen. Here we go. I got 30 to 11. So that's a difference of 19. So I took 19 culture from red. So now my culture jumped up to 75 and red's dropped down to 101. So that's 19. That's a 38 point swing against that culture. So now let's take a look at the culture situation. I am now definitely in 3rd place still, but not as far away from the top as I was. Okay, what to do next? Just really, really, really crucial. Okay, what I've got. So what did I draw? I drew a new tactics card called Modern Army, which is worth 13 bonus points, but it takes 4 units. My current tactic is worth 5 points, but only takes 2 units. So it's not, my current tactic isn't that horrible. I could probably do okay in the game. I'm not gonna be able to dominate military if the I don't know what Blue's gonna do, what she's gonna do, how much military she's gonna invest. Maybe she's just trying to close the gap between her and me. But this is a strong military, but it would be a pretty big departure. I could get the modern infantry. Okay, so I could focus on this, but I got so many things to do in this last age, right? So I don't think probably not gonna go in that direction. I'm gonna hedge my bets so that I could switch to that tactic and therefore end up with a stronger military in case Blue, if she keeps building her military, I have a strategy forward to counter that. But I'm not gonna try and get that out into play anytime soon. Peace treaty, yeah, no, let's do peace treaty. I don't think 2 civilizations cannot attack, each produces an extra. Can't attack each other. Okay, well, that might be kind of interesting to do with Blue, but it means I'm not doing something else, and I think I just want to keep on the pressure on the raiding front. If I play aggression, the problem with playing aggression is it uses 3 military. This aggression uses 3 military actions, and then I only got 4. So that means I'm only going to draw 1 military card. If I do that, it significantly lowers the chance of me getting one of those other war culture cards, which are really what I want. So I'm not going to do that. I might just go ahead and do this one. Or I might take this opportunity, since I don't have a good military play, to play one of these other ones that might be helpful for me down the road, like impact of population or let's see, or impact of strength. By the way, impact of strength doesn't look quite as good as it did before, because if Blue passes me up in strength, those are a little dangerous. I think I'm just gonna play the spy and try and steal some science from Red, of course. Let's see if we can get some of their science. They don't have a leader, so I guess I got their science. Ambiguous gender there now with no leader. Okay, so I got a little more science. More science is good. Okay, that ends the that political phase at the beginning. Now I just got my main body, my turn. Okay, so I've got 21 science, which is great. I could get military theory, which would help my military action situation. I think I want to do this. I want to get military theory and play it. So I had a lot of science. Now, with military theory in play, you see I've got a lot more red tokens down here in the bottom right. And I'm stronger. So it was a nice solid play. It also counts as a level 3 technology. Some of those in-game cards that give you culture at the end of the game do it based on how many level 3 technologies you have, or these special technologies from Blue. So it's good on a number of levels. It does mean I only have 3 civil actions left. I'm going to play mechanized farming, and I'm going to upgrade to a mechanized farm with one of my guys. I really wish I had more production, more. My happiness is doing great. Got 1 civil action left and a bunch of military actions now. Maybe I should have done if I'd. Yeah, see, now this is where I realize not as quite as good. Like a really good player would have seen, like, no, I'll have plenty of red actions because I'm going to grab military theater and play it. Military attack strategy, whatever it was. Anyway, oh well, that's okay. Whatever. Whatevs. I could take multimedia and upgrade it next turn, which would increase the bonuses once I upgrade the. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I'll select reserves. That's a nice, strong, an extra 4 rocks or an extra 4 food. That's often the difference between getting something out there that I want. Also play this and dump. No, I think I also need this military. I'd better take. Well, no, I have rifleman. If I need to switch to this age 3, this tactics, I could use my rifleman technology. It's not ideal, but it would work. Yeah, okay. That's a tough choice. Problem is I'm low on resource production. Where I would like to be in mines, I'm okay that I only have iron as my mining technology. It might seem crazy to end the game with only iron mines. I think that given you only have so much population you can distribute, I think if I have one more population assigned to iron mines, that I could ride to the end of the game with that and do all right. I have before, and some of those times I won. So hey, okay. But it does mean I have a resources problem. I'm going to take reserves. I kind of like the yellow cards, and I tend to do better in games where I prioritize them. So we'll see. Okay, what's happening, chat? Man, I am so sorry. I've been ignoring chat. I just totally forgot about chat, and it's like the whole thing I wanted to do in this is to engage more in chat. Okay, I'm catching up. Steve, there was once a general named Blue. Giving no quarter was all he knew. He marched with great might, and won every fight his enemies bid the last adieu. Peter, uncultured. Oh, yeah, exactly. That's right. Yeah, that's right. I am brutal. Oh, I know what that was. That was the iconoclasm. I'm pretty sure that was a reaction to that. Yes. Truly a tragedy for the ages. Yeah. Well, I'm not sure. Maybe that was the crumble. Or just now diving down on the iconoclasm. Every iconoclast is destroyed, but not every destroyer is an iconoclast. Yeah. Well, thanks, guys. Well, let's chat and chat. That's what it's for. Okay, but let's also keep playing. Okay, I've done my civil actions. I got military actions left, but there's nothing really I can do with them, so I'm going to end the turn. Okay, come on, end the turn. Okay, it's doing my production. And a blue, see now that blue, I think blue might be taking back the game. Now that blue has a stronger military, she's doing the same thing that I'm doing. She's picking on the other AIs for advantages. And so she just attacked green and took a bunch of science. Yeah. And green, who's Einstein, wonder where that civilization is heading. More oil wells, okay. And engineering, which is a good blue civ to take, a blue tech to take. And theaters, big fancy theaters, and more science. There they go. Yep, there you got good science going. And green is declaring war. Okay, so we're gonna go call back to the last episode. If you watched last episode, you might have recalled a story where this guy who knew through the ages was teaching me, and he says, I said, how important is military? Do you try to be first in military? And he goes, maybe, but don't be last. See, this is what happens when you're last. See, red is last in military. I attacked red, then Marlene attacked red, and now Einstein's attacking red. Everybody is dogpiling on red because they have the lowest military, and so there you can go over there and take all their shit. So, red is, and one round of that, when everybody attacks you in a round, it comes back to you, you're probably out of the game. So I think that we'll see what happens. But red is going to be hurting. We'll see what they do. We'll see. Okay, here's red's turn. Red's got a war culture versus green. International negotiations. The civilization revealing this event chooses 3 foods, 3 rocks, or 3 science, and the strongest takes that from the weakest. You cannot choose an option that cannot be fully paid. Okay, so I'm the strongest player, so I just got a bunch of toys. I just got a bunch of extra resources. Oh, Red has hired Bill Gates to be the leader. Bill, good luck. That's all I can say. Good luck taking Red into the next generation. Well, rockets, computers, and tanks looks like a good start. We'll see if they can climb out of that hole. I gotta take a look. I'm just curious what Red's situation is. Oh, they got 2 infantry units. They got pretty good food. Their production is bronze mines. Their science is age A philosophy. But man, they've got 3 libraries and 3 theaters. They're still producing lots of culture. So even though nobody's bashing on them, they're still producing more culture than anybody. I'm not sure. Yeah, well, no, Blue is now, man. Blue is, yeah. I told Blue is the AI. She's doing the pivot. She's doing it really well. So she's a plus 19 culture. And she's got too high of a strength for me to aggress against without investing a lot in military. This is going to be tough. All right, well, let's see what happens. Yeah, it's going to be really tough. Okay, so now it's back to me. So I've got a couple different military options. No wars. Dang it. Okay, I lead. Okay, so Blue's who I got to beat in this game. Their culture dominance is huge. Their science production is a little behind mine. Their rock production is huge. Yeah, they're better than me in just about everything, except I'm a little bit better in science, and I currently have a higher strength, but that may not last. So the question, but they've got Air Force, they got 2 Air Forces. Man, their military is going to jump up a lot if they just get better base army. What Air Force does is it's worth 5 strength by itself, and they 1 Air Force may be added to each army. An army with an Air Force that has twice the usual tactical strength, so they make other armies stronger. So she is probably getting, let's see, she's got she's not getting any. Her tactics aren't useful, so it's these 2 cavalry. Okay, so she's got 26 strength without having a good base army and really using her effort. Her strength is gonna soar. I either gotta really focus on military, or really focus on culture. And given how far ahead of me she is in culture production, 19 versus my 10, I think I've got to go the military route. Don't you? Don't be last. Right on, Steve. Don't be last. Okay, so then the question is, which military tactic? That one's worth 12. This one's worth 13. This one lets me. This is the strongest one, and I already have horses and cannons. Okay, let's go for that. My food situation is better. Rocks, I still want to get another rock going. I still want to get science, and more journalism would be good. But okay, let's see. Should I do? I've got plenty of these. I might as well go. Well, don't be last, because here's what happens. Again, we're gonna pick on red. Oh, green has only 3 cards though. Their age, a couple are age 3 cards. Green's a little stronger, so my odds are worse against green, but it has fewer cards to use. It's a toss-up. Go for red. Red's still outproducing. Red's still a significant threat, amazingly, because all the bashing on red hasn't really destroyed his culture production. So Oh, and now he has Bill Gates. All right. Let's destroy some. Just destroy these. Let's see. Wait. Well, it's too late. Okay. That's that. Now I'll do my my normal civil and military actions. I gotta think. Where am I on culture? I am 3rd place, as I predicted. I should play the Endowment of the Arts to get my 6th culture right off the bat. Looks like I only got 4 culture. Oh, yes, because only 2 of them are better than me. Okay, I'm going to need Air Forces. Of course. I mean, duh. I am going to need... Let's see, I've got... people? Yeah. I can't use... Boy, I did kind of... Okay, I activated Rifleman, so I can get a decently strong military unit there. I can move this guy up here to Rifleman. Also, is it too late to go to 4 mines? Only 19 cards left in this game. We're definitely past the middle of the 3rd age. There's not a lot of time left. And the thing is that we all have more actions, so we're all drawing cards from the card row faster, which means that the clock is running faster too. So I am gonna build an infantry in here. That'll add 8 strength. And I would start migrating guys over for this tactic, but I only have 3 military actions left, and I need some wars. So I'm not gonna do that. I've got... can I produce another food? Oh, maybe I can produce another mine. Okay, I'm going to do that. At this rate, okay, so now I do have my 4 mines, which is kind of like a threshold I've tried to get to. I'm okay on science. My science and culture isn't as good as it should be for this time of the game. I still have an Era 3 Wonder I'd like to build. I still have a upgrade to my government that would be nice, like democracy or communism. Communism would be pretty good for me, because the problem with communism is you lose a happiness, but with St. Pete's I got a lot of extra happiness, and it has 7 civil and 5 military, and it gives you a +1 rock production, which is kind of cool. So 7 and 5, whereas democracy is 7 and 3, so I have less military actions with democracy, but it gives you 3 culture. So yeah, either one of them would be nice, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be impossible to do everything I want to do. That's just the I also need another leader. I don't think I want Mandela. If you have no discontent workers, taking this card costs 3 civil actions more. Oh, you have... Oh, okay. So, okay. At the end of your turn, score a science for each surplus happy face. No, score a culture. Well, I don't have a discontent worker, so it's just too expensive. I mean, I guess I can get tanks. I mean, seems kind of silly not to. If I don't have enough science for democracy or communism, at least I can build tanks. All right, let's go. See why this game is so fun. Okay, I got to get rid of. Let's see, 1, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only have to get rid of one of these. Okay. This one's not that good. I don't want to get rid of that one. I think I might be in good shape on that one. Oh, peace treaty. Yeah, I don't think I'll use peace treaty. Impact of culture. Oh, probably wouldn't want to use that one. Yeah, there's no way I'm going to use that card because it's going to... Blue's who I'm really against now, and it's going to help blue more than me. Because there's no way I'm catching up with her on culture production. Marlene Dietrich. I mean, How can you beat that, Okay, international tourism. Blue and green have a tourism pact, so it helps both of them, which is the same thing as hurting red and I. Alright. See? Blue's playing smart. And now Blue's getting computers. And upgrading to computers. Upgrading more to computers. Yeah, and more. Oh, gee, many crystals. Why are you building so much? Many oil. 4 oil? Wow, her production is going to be insane. It is insane. And she just took 11 culture from red. I just want to point out that I took 19 culture from red. Anyway, so, okay. Now what is she doing? Civil unrest. Okay. Playing multimedia. Oh, this is green now. And green took air forces. Yeah. And now red's coming along. Red's got military alliance with green. They both get +3 strength. Pact ends if one of them attacks the other one, which they're not. Okay, so that helps both of them. Yeah, I mean, of course, everybody else is military. As I'm investing in military, everybody else is investing in military now. And now that blue is investing in military, green and red are even more motivated to invest. Oh, so I love this. Sid Meier is a leader you can get in Era 3. I love that. It's a classic move. You know, Vladia designed this Civ building game, and Sid Meier designed, Civilization series. So I thought that was a nice little homage to Sid. Unfortunately, it's not a great leader for me in this situation. Each of your labs produces an amount of culture equal to its level, but 1 less science. So you need a lot of science production for that to work. Okay. Oh my gosh, I got 2 war over cultures. Look at that. Okay, this is the best war scenario. These cards are the best. Oh my god. Do I have enough time? Okay, so there are 9 cards left in the deck. So I will probably have 2 more turns for sure. Maybe 3. Yeah, I think I'm going to have 3 more turns. You can't declare war on the last turn because wars happen the turn after. So I need to use one of them now, one of them next turn, and then on the last turn I'll probably play my Impact of Strength card, depending on where we're at in relative levels. Okay, well, I need to take a short break. So I am going to hit the be right back scenario. Let's see. Games with words. Yeah. All right, we're back. I am gonna. I'm getting a little feedback from Marcus. I'm turn down the ambient music just a little bit. So, by the way, thank you, Marcus. Deserve a little shout out. Marcus is our technical producer here at Gen Con TV, and he is watching everything I do, whispering, telling me in case I get in trouble. And this is the first time we've done this with him not actually sitting by me. He's on a Zoom call. Thank you, Marcus. I also want to give a shout out to Steve Cottard. Steve Cottard is he's been my buddy he's been in every business I've run over the decades with me. We went to college together. He did put together these cinematic little videos. The videos that you've seen in the show, he is our cinematics editor now, in addition to a bunch of other roles in this group. Also, Tanel Lovett is our Gen Con TV art director, does all the overlays and graphics stuff that you see, the still graphics. And Sarah Moore is our social media princess, who helps me get the word out, because I'm not that great at social media, and I'm getting worse at it. I've been checking my socials nearly as much as I should. And also, I want to say thanks to Danny Kennedy over at Gen Con, social media manager, who we send all our social media stuff, and she seems to like it and post it, and that's really encouraging. So thanks to all. Thank you, everybody. Okay, so let's get back to this game. Okay, I think this game is getting close. I think I have 3 turns left, and one of those I can't declare war, but I have 2 wars and an aggression. I can do an aggression on the last turn, but it's questionable about whether it will do any good. So I even without looking at it, I know I'm going to declare war on somebody here. So let's break this open and see who. I don't think I'm strong enough to declare war against Blue. She has massive production, massive science. I think I better take the safe route is to go against Red. But let's take a look at Red real quick, see what he's got. Red does have cannons technology, tank technology, but Red is really low on production. Again, only 4 rocks, and none of these cards are going to give him more rocks. Yeah, I think Red is kind of screwed. That's the challenge with being Red. That's the problem with being last. Everybody beating up on him, took all his resources away. Then it was his turn. He didn't have anything to build with. So Green is got a serious food problem. I've never seen a -1 food. He's producing negative food. I don't know what happens when that. I don't even know what the rule is for what happens when that happens. Okay, whatever. He's got a lot of production though, and he's got a lot of science. He could, but he doesn't have people. For him to build a military, he'd have to dismantle his religion or something. But he has more to. Anyway, he's stronger. Despite the food problem, he's stronger than Red. And Red, he has stronger in terms of resources and stuff, and he's stronger military. And Red might still be in first place on culture. No, Red has slipped to second place on culture because Blue has overtaken him. Okay, barely. I'm in last place on culture. Oh, if only I just saved my that yellow card for this turn. Oh well. Okay, I'm gonna go to war against Red. Okay, Red, confirm. War's declared. 3816. Okay, who can improve their military the most this turn? Well, yeah, okay. I can improve my military a fair amount this turn. It just comes down to how much can I do. Well, I don't have enough food to produce another dude. I'd like to get the Air Force out. The Air Force works best if you have a stronger tactic in play. I don't know. Well, okay, so I can explore a couple of scenarios and see what happens. Okay, let's play Air Force. To get the Air Force out, I can do the reserves to get more food, and then that gives me the food, and then that gives me the production. Try and slide over there. Air Force. Now my strength is 48. Oh, not bad. Normally I try not to fall below 3 military actions because I want to draw 3, but that was just to get the wars. I've got the cards I want, so I can use all my military actions. I'm not worried about that. I could start moving guys over to here from cavalry or cannons into infantry, and then when I have 2 infantry and a cavalry and a cannon, I can upgrade my tactic, which is currently only giving me 5, to giving me 13. But that 5 is actually giving me 15 because I've got 3 of those armies. Okay, let me make sure. I don't think I explained that very clearly, but just to follow along here. The mobile artillery is a tactic. For every combination of horse and cannon I get 5 extra points. I have 3 of those combinations. I have 3 cannons and 3 horses. So 3 times 5 is 15. If I switch tactics, even if, well, I'm only going to get 13, and that's if I build another infantry unit. This is only really going to work for me if I can get 2 of them. Although, wait, the Air Force, though, is adding, it doubles the tactics. So no, it'll work for me even with 1. If I can do 1 of these, I will net positive. But, and I'm going to need 1 action to dismantle the knights, 1 action to build the infantry. I don't have enough rocks, though. The thing is, it's hard to just scramble and figure out how to manipulate stuff to get more rocks. There's no like converting food into rocks. There's not much of that sort of thing that happens in this game. So, you know, a lot of if I play like Sid Meier's Civilization, speaking of Sid Meier, there's a lot of ways you can kind of convert resources from one type to another, but can I do this turn? I don't think I can. Okay, so let's position it so that I can do it next turn. If I have next turn, it's going to cost me 3 military actions to do the Civil War, or the War of Culture. I have 4 left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So here's the bind. Do I compromise my military now a bit, even though I'm already at war with the red, but I'm at war by such a high margin that I don't think I risk losing the war by softening my military, so that I can then redirect, get to the plan of having 1 or 2 of these, what are they called, modern armies, in time to play a war against Marlene in the next bout. Whew, good question. Will I even have enough rocks to do all that? Okay, if I gotta move 1, I need 4 of these. I need 3 more. I need to move 1, 2, 3 of these over there. No, I need to. If I want 2 of those here, I have to leave two over there. Okay, I just need to move 1 of them over to get a slight improvement. Is it really worth it? I'm not sure. I am going to leave my military pat where it's at. I might take patriotism. This will give me 4 next turn. I can't. These yellow cards you can't use from the turn you draw them, so you always have to think ahead for the yellow cards. Okay, so next turn I can play this. Have an extra 4 rocks for building, upgrading military units, and extra military action. That seems really good. I would like to build a 3rd era wonder, or upgrade a 3rd era to a 3rd era government before the end of the game if I can. It doesn't seem real likely, but it might be possible. I've got the technologies in place for my military push, so I'll have 9 science next turn. I can grab revolutionary idea, which is worth another 6. That's 15. 15 is not quite 17 or 18. I think I'll be able to upgrade communism on my very last turn. So it won't help me, but it will give me in the very last turn that higher level government, which can matter in the points that happen at the end of the game. So that's all my actions. Unless you want to disband a military, but you don't. Okay. That's it. We got a war against Bill Gates. Sorry, Bill. It's just a game. And I got to get rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, a couple of these cards. I'm not going to have time to play a lot of these cards. Okay, so one thing I can get rid of is the tactic I don't want. So, am I getting rid of the right tactic here? Yeah, this one's slightly stronger. Although this one, I could leave in place better units. Which is, I think it's a wash. I don't think it matters. Okay, well my mind has been around this one. So I'm going to get rid of this one. And I got to get rid of, I think, one more card. I'm not going to have time to play these. So I don't need all three of them, that's for sure. Okay. That is it. Alright. Food and rocks getting produced and science being produced. Now it's up to Marlene. What's she going to do? Oh, she's going to throw out another colony. This colony is an incredibly good colony, but it's too late in the game to get much use out of it. So, yeah, I'm going to pass. Blue gets it for 1. Yeah, okay. Blue just keeps getting better and better. I didn't want to go colonize. You guys send military out there, and I didn't want to lose any military right now. Oh, and Blue is building more. She's got 4 air forces. Okay, but am I misunderstanding? She still doesn't have the right military combination for her tactic, and therefore the air forces aren't adding to her tactic. Either I'm missing something, or that AI isn't quite as smart. Well, I chose the medium level AI because remember the AIs here are really tough. Okay, so here's an example of one of these green cards that's coming up already. A bunch of these come up at the end. This is a culture awards for variety, and I did all right. I mean, it didn't make much difference. Everybody got 16 or 18. Blue and I got 18. Green and Einstein and Gates got 16. But this is an example of how much culture gets dumped out at the end based on your accomplishment. This is based on the number of types of units and types of urban buildings and special blue technologies. So that military theory that I got earlier gave me an extra one there. Oh, professional sports. I like professional sports. I mean, in this game, not big professional sports fan in real life, although I do like American football quite a bit. Okay, Green got some reserves and some air forces. Okay, we're going to Bill Gates. Uh-oh, age 4. All civilizations. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, so that triggered the end game. Because that the event decks are okay. Impact of competition. I did okay on that one. For score, everybody got a culture point per level of their military units and arenas. So Blue did a little better, but I did pretty good. Okay, so the end game gets triggered. I think I calculated this right. This is okay. There's my war. 29 culture I took from Red. So that's a 58-point culture swing between me and Red. And I'm at 170 culture now. Now let's look at this. Blue is dominating with 201, but now I'm in second place on culture instead of last place on culture. Nice, nice. Okay, so... And Red did not do much to improve her military. And... she has no cards, technology cards. She doesn't have enough food to produce any more population. She doesn't have any more population to. She only got 1 token left. She could destroy buildings and move them into military. Her strength could go up quite a bit. But I think I got to attack Blue and try and get strong enough. I mean, she's definitely winning this game. And my culture production is already as high as green and red, Einstein and Gates. So I've got to go after Marlene. I will tell you, this is the big play. This is the moment. Like, if I can beat her in this war, knock her culture down, and improve mine at the same time, I have a chance. But her strength is pretty high, and it could be higher with some very simple things that she could do on her part. So it's dangerous, but I think I got to do it. Okay, declare war on Marlene Dietrich. Okay, now the question is, how much can I do with my military here? Okay, well, we are going to okay, I got to do, yeah, okay, so I should be able to, okay, I'm going to disband a cannon and build an infantry. Remember, my military was 48. So now we're going to play this tactic, and it's at 42. Okay, what went wrong? This is 2 infantry, a cavalry, and a... Okay, I'm getting some benefit. Okay, the 13 was offset. Okay, I lost 15, but gained 13, so I expected to go down a little bit, but I thought my Air Force, maybe I'm misunderstanding Air Force here. Air Force is not required for any tactic. 1 Air Force may be added to each army. An army and Air Force is twice its usual tactical strength. So I thought that I would get those 13 points from the tactic twice, and I did not. Let me look at this. Oh, antiquated army using air forces with the modern tactic. That's the problem. Okay, well, this is bad news, but let me explain what I did wrong. The Air Force, what does it have anything about antiquated tactics? Maybe this tactic does. Antiquated age 3. Oh, it's because my knights are too old. It's an age 3 tactic. Okay, so okay, now I go to the problem. Now I explain what I did wrong. Okay, so your tactics, you notice this tactic has 2 numbers, a large number and a small number. 13 is when it's used appropriately, but the 7 is when it's used inappropriately. I have an era 3. It's an era 3 tactic. Inappropriately is if any of these units that compose this army are 2 eras behind or more, then you have to use a lower number. And so my knights here are era 1, and it's an era 3 tactic. So I've got a big problem, and I don't think I can actually fix it, because if I've got tanks here, which I can play. Oh, maybe I can. Okay. And then, do I have enough strength to upgrade one of these knights to a, there. 57! Okay. I did have enough. Okay. So that tactic is only using 1 cavalry type unit. And I just upgraded. Yeah, see? I knew I was making the right move by getting the tanks. Okay, I got a modern army. I got tanks here for the Air Force is doubling the strength of the modern army. Basically, is what's happening. Yeah, 26 for 1 army using Air Force is the modern army tactics. 26 points from that tactic because I have the Air Force. So, Marlene might have 4 Air Forces, but I'm using my 1 Air Force more effectively. That's what this comes down to. Okay, so. Next turn, by the way, is going to be my I didn't really explain how the triggering of the last turn works. Everybody gets a turn where there are no new cards. So once the deck runs out of cards, like it did, once the event deck runs out, civil deck runs out of cards, then everybody gets one more turn after. It starts at the top and goes completely through the player roster one more time. So I will get one more turn after this. I have. Oh, because I built tanks, I'm not going to have enough science to build communism. That's okay. I will have 8 science plus my revolutionary idea next turn will be 6 science. So I will have 14 science next turn. Plus, I could take another revolutionary idea, which will give me another 6. So I'll have 20 science next turn, which would be, let's see. The Manhattan Project is going to come up. That's going to take 14 production to build. I really would like to build an Age 3 era. It's not going to be worth a lot for me. It's only worth 8 culture. I mean, but 8 culture is 8 culture. But I don't know if I can get to 14 rocks. I'm going to have 10. I'm not going to have to spend anything on military next turn. Wars will be over. Although I will be able to do a raid and grab some more rocks. So I might be able to build Manhattan Project next turn if it's still there. And also I could take some of these things. I might be making a mistake taking revolutionary ideas. There's not much up here in terms of text to take. Well, except if I want to get communism. So is this enough to get communism? 6 and 6 is 12. And 8 is 20. Yeah. Okay. So with my 2 revolutionary ideas and the 8 science I'm going to produce naturally, I get 20 science. That'll give me enough to bring in communism. With my, if I bring out Manhattan Project, see, it's Manhattan Project. Look, it's going to take 5 civil actions to bring it into play. 3 because it's in that rightmost section of the card row, and then. The cost to grab a wonder from the card row goes up by 1 per wonder you've already built. Since I've built 2 wonders already, it would cost me 5 civil actions, which leaves me no civil actions left to grab the cards I need to build it. So I'll have 10 rocks total, but the Manhattan Project costs 14. So, what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to back up. I'm not going to take Manhattan Project. It's possible that nobody else will take it and that it'll still be in the card row. Not a real good chance of that, but it is possible that I'll still get it anyway. So I would, in case I do get it, if I got Engineering Genius, that would pay for it. With the 10, 5 is 15. That would give me the 14 I need to build it. Okay, so I'm gonna take Engineering Genius, which take any of these cards I take, by the way, lowers the chance that Manhattan Project will still be there because of the way this mechanic works of things sliding to the left. I don't know. I'd like to take a leader. I could take more of these yellow cards. I mean, the thing is, if I don't take them, the other 3 civs are going to take them. I don't know if I should, how much I should bank on being able to build the Manhattan Project versus just picking up some of these odds and ends that I could use for something else, like maybe building another journalism, or if I could build even more level 3 technology. And well, there aren't any. Okay. I really doubt I'm going to get Manhattan Project, but I'm going to lower the chances further by grabbing. Do I want Maria Curie? Your best mind produces equal to its level. No, I think I want Churchill. Churchill on your turn, score 3. Okay, this will get me 6 culture. I'm going to take Churchill. I'm going to play Churchill. I'm ending the game as Churchill. Huh. Okay. And do I want one of these cards? It's going to lower the chances even more that I'll get Manhattan Project. But I don't think I'm going to get it. So I'm going to take, let's see, reserves is worth 4. Urban growth is worth 4, but only on urban buildings. But it's faster to use. Military build. I don't need to build more military now. Okay, so I think I'm going to take reserves because I have a lot of civil actions, so I'll be able to play. Okay. I did not work on. Whoa! I did not work on Red Cross, even though. Oh, wait. See it. Okay, Red Cross is this really weird wonder where you build it and other players can help you build it. It's like civilizations contributing to it. So Marlene brought it out, and I could play. They're limited to one stage. Return each stage player built it scores 6. When completed, score 1 for each colony to play. Oh, that'll combine. How many colonies she has? 3. Okay. This costs 3 food. Do I have food? Yeah, I got food. Okay. Yeah, back up. Not taking the reserves. I'm definitely going to finish the Red Cross. Cool. So I spent 3 and got 6. Nice. All right. Cool. Happy with that. Before I'm done, wait. I'm going to use Churchill's ability to get 3 culture. So Churchill's ability is, he's got this flexible ability. Every turn you can either score 3 culture, or you have 3 science and 3 rocks for developing military unit technologies and building and upgrading military units. The biggest problem is I forget that I have him, so I don't. It's ability you have to remember. He kind of sits over there, and like it's easy to. Nothing warns you that hey, you haven't used his ability. Well, unless they've added that. It's been a while since I've played him. Okay, time to discard. Most of the stuff doesn't matter now. I'm not gonna get. Nobody's gonna aggress me. I can get rid of those. How many cards do I have to get rid of? Just 1. Okay, fine. I had lots of cards I could get rid of that. I'm only going to get 1 more turn. Okay. Another colony. Oh, no. I'm in the middle of a war. I can't. Yeah. So the problem with being a warmonger is you're in the middle of war. You can't send troops off to colonies. Green wins the colony. Okay. Great. Go for it, Green. And Marlene builds rockets. And she built a population. What else is she going to do? She built the Manhattan Project, and she built her strength up to almost mine. Well, okay. That hurt, but not as bad as it could have. If she'd have passed, if you declare war on somebody, and then in that turn you have to both get stronger, if the person you declared war on gets stronger than you, then the results go to them. You know, so that it could have been horrible if her strength was higher than me. But as it is, I am going to get probably about 8 culture from her. Oh, there it is. Yep, 8 culture that I took from Marlene. I brought her down to 241. I got up to 197. I am going to come in second in this game, I'm pretty sure. Let's see where everybody's at. Yeah, I'm well ahead of green and red, and blue is well ahead of me. Okay. That war is concluded. Now you'll see I can't play a war because this is the last turn of the game. I can play an aggression to take some resources, but let's see. Do I have... Okay, I'm not going to get Manhattan Project. So, the engineering genius was a wasted action, but that's okay. I am going to be able to get communism in play, which is going to lower... Okay, so this... all I can do this turn is try and squeeze out a couple more points of culture, of various end-game bonuses that are going to come up in the other cards by, you know, trying to bump up some of these resources that I have, some of the production, some of the culture, whatever I can do. And I think doing a raid... So if I play Impact of Strength, that's probably good. I mean, that gives me 15 culture. It gives blue 10. It's not going to help narrow my... It's not going to narrow my lead by much. But I think that's what I'll do. it's pretty much a guaranteed commit we had. Okay, so now impact of government comes out. Oh, before I got communism. Dang it. I'm not. Oh, I tied for first place on that. Okay, so I'm holding my own. So when these things, as these games, a bunch of these cards are going to get resolved here after the game. And I'm always watching for who got how many points and how well did I fare compared to the others. So this, yeah, I fared better in green and red, or Einstein and Bill Gates, but that's not who I'm really up against at the end. So I've solidifying my second place position, but I'm not going to win. Okay, so now let's see what I can do. Let's bring out my revolutionary ideas to get my science up. Let's implement communism. I think that's going to create a happiness problem for me. Ooh, a horrible happiness problem. Okay, we're going to see what I can do here is I can up this religion to organized religion, and that might fix it. That did fix it. Okay, so now I've got food is in last place, so I'm going to improve the food up to there. I could taking these cards doesn't do any good. I've already got a leader. The reserves, you can't play these yellow cards the same turn you grab them. This is the last turn of the game. Neither one of those matter. Sometimes in the last turn you just can't do anything that interesting with what you have. I've got a couple more rocks. That's not enough rocks to do anything crazy, like one food short of being able to create a population, and wouldn't really have the rocks to place anywhere. Engineering genius isn't going to do any good. I think maybe I can get another tank. Okay, 4 extra. This gives me 4 more rocks for building. So yeah, that's definitely enough to get another tank. Let's drag one of these knights up to tanks. Oh, do I want to use the Churchill ability? I know, but thanks for the reminder, because now I am going to use the Churchill ability for culture. I don't see anything else I can do. Don't have enough food to do anything. Don't have enough rocks. Don't have science. That's it. I think that's it. Right? I don't have enough. I can't upgrade this guy, right? I don't think I have enough. Difference in prices. 4. Yeah, I don't have enough. Okay. That's it. That's fine. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. Let's see what happens. Okay. Yeah, I have some. It warns you if you have civil actions left. Yes, I realize I do. And I just can't think of anything else I can do. Anybody in chat have anything? Steve, I don't normally look forward to Monday mornings, but now that we have Peter versus Machine, I have fun to look forward to. Oh, thank you. Okay. No, we're gonna end the turn. All right, see how this thing wraps up at the end. I think Marlena's too strong for me for these end game things to swing it. I don't think she got 12 from Wonders. I got 9, so she actually that card actually increased her lead. Architecture, yeah. See, all the these green things were all the things other than warmongering, generally. Okay, so my strength versus Einstein and Gates is really strong. I don't think either one of them can catch up. There's my impact of strength. That did strengthen my position relatively more, but I got 40 some points to make up there. Yeah, at this rate, it's not going to happen. Okay, impact of happiness. We both have maximum happiness. Impact of industry. Oh my gosh, yes, of course. She had the most. I've never seen somebody with, would she have 4 or 5 oil mines? I've never seen that before. Impact of colonies. She had a lot of colonies. I only had 1. Okay, yeah, this is, but I'm still, yeah, okay. The game's over. That's it. Final results. Blue wins it with 342 points. I got a strong second at 2. I gotta admit, I ended stronger than I thought I was based on where I was at the beginning of our session. Yeah, negative food. I don't know how that happened. green is green and red. Yeah. Um, all right. Well, there you go. So that is Through the Ages. I know it's a lot to take in. It's not an easy game. It is a complex game with a lot of stuff going on. Hopefully I gave you enough knowledge that if to feel like you understand like what you would be getting into if you took on this game. Also, that there is a lot to this game. Like, it's easy to look at a game and kind of wonder, is this a good game? Does it hold up? Is it strategic? Will it challenge me and my players? Yes, you can see this game is very, very challenging, and I love it. I've probably played this game 100 times, literally, and you see, I'm not even as good as the AI on medium level. It is a tough, tough game. So what's next week? So I had a couple of ideas for next week that I think I'm going to ditch, and I'm going to do something I wasn't planning on doing. I'm going to do Catan next week, Settlers of Catan. I'm going to do this in honor of Klaus Teuber passing recently. It's a great game. It's not a very hard game. I feel kind of silly teaching it. It's actually kind of simple enough that probably doesn't need a teacher. But if you want me to show you how to play this game, I'll play it next week. We will do Catan. All right. Thank you everybody for joining in. And Peter versus Machine, my first game playing in my show, and I lost, but that's okay. That's just I wasn't last. All right. Yes. Rest in peace, Klaus Teuber. And thank you. Thanks for chiming in, Marcus and Steve, for the comments. And all right, I am out of here.